Okay, so in exercise 1, we created our spreadsheet. We created some aliases so that we have the dimensions for the platform and the stalk. Today, we are only going to build the platform. From the spreadsheet, down at the bottom, we can see we have our spreadsheet open, and then if I click the tab to the other side of it, that is our object. And so far, we haven't built any object. We've only built our spreadsheet. So up in the module selector, I will switch from spreadsheet to part design. Now, part design is where you'll spend kind of most of your time designing parts. There are a few other modules, but part design typically is what you would use. And when we're in part design, we have kind of the two first things we'll do is we'll create a body. That's kind of your 3D object. And then within the body, we'll create a sketch. So we'll start by clicking Create Body. If I click over to Model, you'll see that a body has been created. And now within that body, we'll click Create Sketch. And that automatically asks us what plane we want to create it on. So we have 3 planes, right? It's 3D, XY, XZ, and YZ. I would say 99% of the time you always start with XY. So if I click XY, we have an origin and an x-axis and a y-axis for us to start drawing. Now, once we start drawing at the top of our toolbar where we have kind of all the white lines, those are the sketch objects we can draw where we have kind of all the red tools. Those are the constraints or the way to constrain our drawing to a specific dimension, angle, and so on. In the middle, we have a rectangle, which is what we'll create today, and then we'll constrain it to our dimensions. So I will click Create Rectangle. If I go into my drawing, we'll see that I now have a rectangle tool. From the top left of our origin, I will click once. Now I can start dragging a rectangle, and I'm going to drag it to the bottom right. Now I'll explain why we're doing that in a moment, but for the starters, we just have a rectangle. Now with the rectangle tool active, I will hit the escape button, which takes me back to a cursor. And now if I click and hold on any point, I can drag that rectangle any dimension I want. Now I mentioned that we drag across the origin. Most of the time I like creating my drawings symmetrical to the origin, and it gives you kind of, if you think about math and how you're going to place things, it gives you a way to always have things centered. You could, if you wanted, decide to draw it where one of your points is at the origin and you're going from positive x and positive y. That's also an option, but I kind of like symmetrical. So how do we get it to be symmetrical? The first thing I'll do is click once on the top left. It'll turn green. Bottom right, it turns green. And then I will click our origin, which also turns green. Now, if you wanted, you could do it top right and bottom left. It just has to be the diagonal to make it symmetrical. So once I have those 3 done, you'll see a red constrain tool that looks like a greater than less than. That's the symmetrical constraint. If I click it, you'll notice that the rectangle is now symmetrical. And if I drag my points now, I stay symmetrical on the origin. Now our next step is let's constrain the rectangle to our platform dimensions. So step 1 for that, I will pick the width. For me, I always kind of choose width as my left right. So I'll click the left and the right bottom so that those are both highlighted. And now probably our 2 most popular constraint tools is a horizontal constraint and a vertical constraint. I will click horizontal in this case because it's the horizontal line. It automatically comes up and it defaults to whatever the physical dimensions are that I've drawn so far. And I could, for example, make them 50 instead. And if I hit enter, my box resizes to 50. But we want to use our spreadsheet so that we have the ability to update it. So if you hover over your constraint, you'll see that it goes yellow. When it's yellow, I'll double click it to open up my editor. You'll notice on the right side there's a gray button. If I click it, I now go into what they call the formula editor. And here's where I will start by typing spreadsheet, and it automatically defaults to find the spreadsheet. And then if I arrow down to hover or to highlight spreadsheet, it gives me spreadsheet with a period. And now I know I named it width. The cool part for me is you don't have to use exactly what it's called. It finds everything with the word width in it. So I have platform width, stock bottom width, top. I know this one's the platform width. So I'll pick it. You'll see that it brings in 60, which is from the spreadsheet. I'll click OK. You'll see length turns gray because it's now driven by the spreadsheet and not allowing me to manually type it anymore. I'll click OK, and we are now locked in at our 60. Now, one of the things you'll notice when you have dimensions or constraints is they can sometimes get in the way. When you're hovering, if you single click and hold, you can drag the dimension up and out of the way so that it's off of your drawing and not causing you problems. So let's do the vertical dimension now. So I'll click the bottom and the top. Again, I could do left or right side. It doesn't matter because they are locked in with each other. I'll use the left two. I'll use my vertical constraint. And now the same thing again, I will click my gray button, type spreadsheet, arrow down. And now this one I know I called depth. And there it is, sure enough, platform depth. That is 80 for me. I'll click OK. Click OK again. And now you'll notice it went off the screen. So for me, I kind of scroll in and out, zoom in and out, if you will. That's your mouse scroll button. So if I scroll down, it zooms out. And if I scroll in, or scroll up, I should say, it zooms in. So now I can kind of get it centered on the screen. Last thing I'll mention is you'll notice that it turned green. When it turns green, it means that it's fully constrained. In other words, when it's fully constrained, there's no flexibility. It can't move on its own. Everything about it is constrained. So in our case, we constrained it in space by being symmetrical in the origin, and then we constrained the width and the depth with our two constraints, and that's what made it turn green. I'm now done with the sketch, so I can click close on the left. And you'll notice when I exit out, it now kind of is a square or a rectangle that's floating in space. And the next thing I'll do is pad it or extrude it. So with my sketch selected, we see kind of our yellow toolbar items. Those are our extrusions or our additives. And then our blue/red ones here are our subtractives. So I will simply do a pad. In this case, I just want a 3mm platform that I'm going to design. So I'll click the pad button. You'll see that it automatically now creates a 3D object. It defaults to 10mm. The type, I would tell you 90% of the time is going to be dimension. And then the length, it's always called length. In this case, it happens to be height, but the length of the extrusion or the length of the padding. That one, just like we did with the others, we have a constraint for that in our spreadsheet. So I'll click the gray button, click spreadsheet, arrow down, and this one I know I called thickness, and there it is, platform thickness. It's 3mm. I'll click OK, and now we'll see it there. Now the last thing I want you to do is click reversed, and I'm going to click it a couple of times so that you see what's happening. But if you think about it, this line right here is the sketch that's on our XY plane, if you will. And if I go reversed, it extrudes or pads below the plane. And if I click reversed again, it now flips and extrudes above the plane. And in this case, because we're going to build a stock on top of this, I want to extrude it reversed. I want it to extrude it below the plane so that as I build my stock, I can use that plane as a base for my stock to build up on, which we'll do in the next exercise. So at this point, my pad parameters are set. I clicked reverse. I will click OK. And the last thing that I'll show you for this exercise is that once I have an object, if I hold the Shift key down on the keyboard and I right click on the mouse, I'm able to rotate my 3D object in space. So at this point, and if you kind of let go and move to another spot, you can rotate in a different way. The other thing you'll notice is this cube on the top right rotates along with it. It shows you where in space you're rotated. So for example, if I rotate over here and now I come and I click on top, it will automatically rotate, and I'm using my mouse scroller to zoom in and out, rotates to the top of the object. If I use the arrow, it rotates to 45 degrees of the object. Now again, holding my shift and my right click, I can rotate it in space myself. So that's the completion of exercise number 2. At the end, we will do a file and a save. I've already named it plain wheelbase V1. And we're set and ready for exercise number 3.